Hello everyone from Hodges Stadium in the state of Florida, or in the city of Jacksonville. This is the home ground of the University of North Florida. It is the Australia Day Challenge, and the mighty South Sydney Rabbitohs have made their way over to take on the United Kingdom's Super League champions, the Leeds Rhinos. And a great reception for the teams. They've been here for the past week and they've turned up today, a crowd of almost 10,000. Many tasting rugby league for the first time. A few expats here. A smattering of South Sydney colours, South Sydney caps, some Leeds supporters in the crowd as well. It really is a grand occasion to celebrate Australia Day a long way from home. Let's have a look at the way the teams line up for this one. South Sydney, their first hit out for 2008. A number of their top personnel missing either through injury or very short off-season campaigns. Fullback Bo Champion, wingers Shannon Hegarty, Jermaine Paulson, centres Gordon and Talanoa, the halves Ben Rogers and young Eddie Paya, forwards John Sutton, in the back row Ben Lowe, Luke Stewart will captain the side, the front row of Michael Greenfield, Manasi Manikafoa and Isaac Luke. The teams play unlimited interchange today, so extended benches, and South Sydney have elected to have 9 reserves: Bo Falloon, Sam Hui-Hahau, Jamin Lowe, Eddie Pettybourne, Simpson, Nathaniel Barnes, Tamanika, Nadera and McPherson. So a number of players there playing their first match with the first grade squad for the Rabbitohs. For Leeds, it's a different story. They are just a week away from starting the Super League year for 2008 as defending champions, and this is their grand final side from last year. Webb at fullback, Donald and Smith on the wings, Torpy and Senior in the centres, the halves Maguire and Burrow. Kevin Sinfield is captain, back row of Jones, Buchanan and Ellis, front row of Lulawai and Peacock, and Diskin is the hooker. And coach Brian McLennan is looking to play plenty of these reserves today. Lauatiti, Scruton, Kirk, Ablett, Gibson, Tansey, Hall, Williams, Burgess, Kay, Haley. As I say, the coach of Leeds, the former Kiwi coach, Brian McLennan. It has been quite the rugby league odyssey, and here we find ourselves in America. Over the years, Australia has played the Tomahawks. That was up in Pennsylvania. We go back to that State of Origin match way back in 1987, but it's hard to believe the promotion could be any bigger than what has happened here. And many of the locals have embraced rugby league, if only for a week. And there isn't a promise to return, but plenty of people excited about this one. Signs rugby and arrows saying this way. You can't avoid it. We'll tell them it's league later, but anyway, at least they've taken to the code. They've had the big screen here, a number of Australian sporting champions here, the likes of Greg Norman, Lane Beachley. Russell Crowe has introduced them all. We've had the stars of American Chopper here, who have put together some red and green Harleys, and that certainly got a number of the crowd excited. It is a most unusual way to celebrate Australia Day. I would think that South Sydney will be strong favourites with the crowd. The team that broke through to play the finals for the first time in 18 years last season, and hoping to build on that success this year. Their Kiwi internationals not playing today, so whatever you see from the Rabbitohs in this match, you're going to expect a lot better as the season unfolds. By my count, around about 9 of their top liners not starting today, including their #1 off-season recruit, Craig Wing, the likes of Azatazi, Vunganar, Kidwell, Jeremy Smith, not playing today, but have been part of the troop here in the United States. And here are the Leeds Rhinos, led out by Kevin Sinfield, followed out by Rob Burrow. An outstanding finish to last year. They swept through the final series in the Super League. And on grand final day at Old Trafford in Manchester, they wiped out the minor premier St Helens by 33 points to 6. As emphatic a victory as one could get on such a big occasion. Scotty Donald, the Australian in the lead side, the former Manly flyer. He had a stellar season last year, a try-scoring specialist. Looking forward to seeing him today against the Rabbitohs. Number of Kiwis in the lead side as well. Headed by fullback Brent Webb, Clinton Torpey. There is Brent Webb on screen. Fine fullback with the Warriors. Fine performer at international level. As we stand by for the entrance of the South Sydney Rabbitohs. To glory, glory, South Sydney. They will be defending the northern end of Hodges Stadium. Bit of a nor'easter blowing here. Around about 8 degrees. And Luke Stewart, the oldest man in the South Sydney side today, is captain of the club, captain of the side. And this is quite a moment for a number of these young players. It's a very young squad. Many, well, I imagine most of them would have thought they'd never be playing in America. And here they are. Joining me in commentary today, we've got a native of Jacksonville and local sports commentator Steve Berry. We should explain this venue is home to the University of North Florida and all their sporting teams.
That's glad to be here. This is the home of the Ospreys. They have a very good soccer program, not yet starting American football, but a lot of folks in Jacksonville feel that is on the horizon within the next 10 years. The president of the university, former Mayor John Delaney, has done a wonderful job, and the facilities here at the University of Florida are, as you said, spot on.
A referee from England, Phil Bentham, out of the Super League. Our touch judges are from the American competition. So it is rugby league from the United States of America. South Sydney running from left to right on your screens, and Leeds first use of the football. And it's Kylie Lurlai who takes the first charge, and I think the crowd enjoyed that first contact with Ben Lowe up in the tackle. First up now, Peacock hits it up to the 20, and 4 defenders rush in, led by Michael Greenfield. On tackle 3, Diskin. They attack the short side with Jones, Buchanan. Plenty of Great Britain internationals across this lead side. Slow to release there in the tackle was Jolene Gordon to centre field with the captain, Kevin Sinfield. He's on edge going into the match. His wife back home expecting the birth of their second child. He will fly home straight after the game. And now Diskin tackled. That is tackle number 5 on the 40-metre line. Greenfield again in defence. The kick from inside the 40 from Maguire. No thought of a 40-20. They go down the centre and fielded by Bo Champion. And back he comes. South Sydney's first use of the ball, and good defence by Leeds. Driving up was Sinfield. Driving up was Gareth Ellis. And now Hegarty. You'll see plenty of that dummy half running from the South Sydney left winger. Specialist in that area. Now Luke away again. Good contact first up from Leeds. Next week, their first match of the season against Hull KR. And now across Rogers, switching out left side with Sutton, and Torpy went high, and there will be a penalty for that. Clinton Torpy going high in the tackle. And Steve, this ground here played host to the build-up to the Super Bowl a few years back with Philadelphia, using this as their home base.
That's correct. The Eagles practiced here and got all their facilities ready, and it was really good for the University of North Florida because they got an NFL field out of it.
Well, facilities certainly outstanding. And across this complex, plans for the athletic track further off, baseball stadium. So South Sydney first big attacking chance with Monica Foa, wrapped up 23 metres out from the line. First in the tackle was Kylie Littlewhite. They're set to the right. Luke for Greenfield. Straight and hard for the front rower, who linked back with the Rabbitohs last year from the Sharks and did some good things in the latter half of the season. Now Luke. Talk about starring last year. Rogers, nice ball for Champion, put down by Gordon. And on the turnover, Leeds come up with it and headed for the sideline, kept in play. So play on with the Rhinos, 20 metres out from their own line. But an early opportunity for the Rabbitohs, and only the hands of Gordon let them down. Good shot there on Littlewhite, former Manly front rower. In fact, here he is now, heading up to the 40, got past Monica Foa, able to offload. Webb there in support. Now Little Rob Burrow, the halfback, the pocket rocket up to halfway. Tackled low down by Luke and Greenfield. Now Diskin takes off, had the markers turned around. And this is a promising set from Leeds. They've scrambled all the way from their own 10-metre line, now 40 metres out from the Rabbitohs line. Sinfield cut-out ball with Maguire, very clever player. Out for Torpy, supporting his outside is Smith. And Smith has wrapped up 20 metres away from the Rabbitohs line on that eastern touch line. Back for Maguire, 15 out. Leeds are looking good. Peacock's ball that was touched there by Rabbitohs. Could be play on. Luke is back there. Try is claimed by Diskin. And the referee says try. Well, it was a real scramble for possession. But I'm pretty sure it is Matt Diskin who has got there, the hooker. There were 3 Leeds players there to get to the loose ball. But the try has been awarded to the number 9, Matty Diskin. And Steve, you're watching your first game of Rugby League live. Let me tell you, the tries will get better than that. That was a real scrappy affair. And Matty Diskin coming up with it.
The play right here that I was impressed with, almost a big turnover for South Sydney. If they could have just come up with that football.
Looking at the replay, I reckon the referee's got it 100% right. Phil Bentham. It was touched on the way through by Ben Lowe.
That's the difference between American football and league football. The runner actually has to have possession of the ball when it crosses the plane and gets into the goal line.
So Diskin the try, Sinfield the conversion, and a 6-0 scoreline leads the Rhinos over the Rabbitohs.
I tell you, the physicality of the game is impressive, and the folks in Jacksonville like that. The Jacksonville Jaguars, a very physical NFL football team. They're known for their defense, very big, very physical. So the fans here, just the hits that I've seen, unbelievable.
So 6-0 start, 4-quarter football we're watching as well, and the Jacksonville Jaguars play up the road from here. Stadium of about 80,000 capacity, Steve.
Yep.
And had a pretty good season.
They lost to the Patriots, as did everybody else who played the Patriots.
So Leeds in possession on the back of their first try, 15 metres out from the line. And Jones Buchanan with a run back to the 20. Lowe was up there. Big raps on Ben Lowe. You saw him, Australian fans saw him on Grand Final Day last year. North Sydney played in the Premier League, the feeder team for South Sydney. And Lowe was most impressive. This is Ellis, who has impressed Australian fans in Tri-Nation Series more recently. Now Diskin, the try scorer, he's looked good so far. Making some nice sorties out of dummy half. Put down by Smith. And the Rabbitohs come up with the ball with Hegarty and play on the call. That 0 tackle. So now a full set.
Nice stiff arm.
Gordon going across field, or rather Talanoa going across field, and with a nice left arm fend. Now Monica Foa. Tackle just short of halfway. His mates call him Nelson. Nasi Manika Foa. And now for Stewart. Linked up with the Rabbitohs when they re-entered the National Rugby League back in '02. Luke, good run. He'll have the goal-kicking duties for South Sydney today. Rabbitohs 38 metres away from the Leeds line, and Payer for Greenfield. Able to make 7 metres. Another offload back for Eddie Payer, the teenage halfback, with less than a handful of games in first grade. As far as experience is concerned, Rogers tries his shorter kick this time. He's found space, don't get it across. It hit the post, and Bo Champion has got there, but the call is not on. And they will come back to the 20 for the restart. It'll go down as a bomb try for Bo Champion. In fact, they're bringing out the chalk outline right now where the try was murdered, because it's going to be a try, and then knock forward. Would have been 6-4 and a goal right alongside the posts. But sharp work by Rogers, the kick. Found a little bit of space, and now Sinfield with the ball. And just outside the 30, so it settles back down for Leeds. And now Keith Senior. He's been around since Moses, this bloke, and here he is, tackled 40 metres out from the Rhinos line. Over 400 games of first grade experience, back for Peacock, strong metres. Former Bradford captain, also captain of Great Britain. Now to the left with Burrow. A left foot kick for the corner. Looked a little bit off the side of the boot and has gone out on the full.
Fourth tackle.
So an error from Rob Burrow. It was before the last tackle, so we will have a scrum. And joining us in commentary right now, the star recruit for 2008 for South Sydney, Craig Wing. What about this? A most unusual experience in the US of A?
Yeah, it is. It's actually started off quite physically. And
everybody tight to the pass.
looks like both teams are pretty pumped up for the game.
There.
But I think they got through us a little bit up the middle there. We're a little bit lazy around the ruck, and they got their try.
I would say for you, quite a disappointment not to experience this out on the field today. Would have been a great first game back with South Sydney.
Yeah, very disappointing. I was really hoping to play here, and I want to play as many trials as I can. But just got a little bit of a niggling injury that I'm trying to get over, and I should be back running next week.
Well, watch this play unfold for the Rabbitohs, and lost there by Talanoa. Ball stripped, in fact, says referee Bentham. And he is mic'd up and able to communicate with the crowd to explain his rulings. The thick accent of Phil Bentham, but ruling quite clearly there that the ball was ripped away in a tackle with more than one defender. So Luke with a kick for touch, and the Rabbitohs another chance to attack 25 metres out. I will ask just as this set starts, Craig, where do you expect to start game one for the Rabbitohs?
Hopefully I'm going to start in the halves. That's where I've been training all off-season, and I'm really enjoying it.
And Manika Foa will play at 15 metres out. Halves today, Payer and Rogers. Rogers has made a good start to this one. Now Isaac Luke on for Stewart. Test of the Leeds Rhinos defence here on their own goal line. Now Luke back to the left side. He's clever. Rogers is there. This looks good. Champion couldn't slip the pass away. Hegarty was on his outside. Only 5 metres from the line. Rogers, defence coming off the line quickly. Jones, Buchanan and Peacock. Ball is loose, and they've squandered another chance, the Rabbits. And Maguire ends up with the ball for the Leeds Rhinos. The players have been here about a week, Craig, and it took a number of days to get over the jet lag. Coach Jason Taylor was telling me that a lot of training sessions, some of the younger boys turned up a little tired for a number of days.
Oh, not just the younger players, the older players as well. It took us about 3 or 4 days to get over the jet lag. We had guys getting up at midnight, going and getting food. Yeah, it was quite difficult.
Rob Burrow now getting over the 40-metre line. I will ask you too, the team has made a visit to the Jaguars here in Jacksonville. Quite an experience as well.
Yeah, the facilities there are outstanding. I mean, they've spared no expense in any department over there. It's really a first-class setup. It was really quite an experience.
Craig Wing joining me in commentary right at the moment as Leeds attack 40 metres out. Burrow across to Denny Maguire. Nice ball there for Webb. Webb able to offload for Smith. It was a high ball. Wasn't the best. Able to offload then back to Torpy. Wrapped up there by Talanoa. And Hegarty still the one-handed offload. Good play. Leeds on the attack. Getting a real roll on with Lulawai. And then flung around by Sutton. They lead by 6 points to 0. Last tackle, 25 metres out. Maguire's kick, back across field. This is dangerous. Payer was there, Champion was there. There are 4 Rabbitohs there. And we end up with a line dropout. So this will be quite a deal of pressure now on the red and greens, who are making a slow walk back to the dead ball line.
Yeah, they seem to be killing us with the offloads there, but to our credit, our defensive line's holding strong, and no one's coming out of the line.
So line dropout is low. Breeze at the back of the Rabbitohs for the first half. Luluwai will take the hit up. Should mention that all the New Zealand internationals not playing for the Rabbitohs today. That just basically a move, Craig, to keep them in Cottonwell, get them ready for bigger things.
Yeah, that's right. They only actually resumed training with us the 7th of January. So, you know, I think they've got a little bit more work to do on the field and in the gym before they're ready. But believe me, all of us players sitting on the sideline really wanted to play today because it's certainly quite an experience.
Now Burrow out for Maguire. Good ball again. Ellis is there. Ellis has lost it in the tackle. South Sydney in possession with Greenfield. And they will play the knock on. And the scrum to pack down with the South Sydney feed. So they hang on their own goal line defence. He's a good play, Gareth Ellis. Really impressed by him. The last Great Britain campaign against Australia, Ellis was as good as any forward we saw in what was overall a disappointing campaign for Great Britain. They've since bounced back under Tony Smith, defeating the Kiwis in the off-season. So South's in possession, 15 out from their own line. And a reminder, we are playing four-quarter football, and we are playing unlimited interchange today as champion. This guy, Craig, you would have watched him in your time with the Roosters, boat champion. He sort of hit the scene and has battled with an ankle injury. Apparently he's been pretty impressive in off-season. He got a chance here today, first choice fullback.
Yeah, he has. He's been training really, really well. He's got good skill, and he can also fill in at half of 5'8", so he's certainly one to watch. But I think I'm looking forward to seeing how Isaac Luke goes out here. He's been training really well in the off-season and working on his kick game, so I'd like to see him do a little bit more kicking in this game.
Last tackle, and Eddie Payer kicks low downfield. This one goes past Webb, and we'll keep rolling and over the dead ball line, and we'll have a 20-metre restart. So a good decision, as it turns out, by Webb not to play at the football. Players that have left the National Rugby League in recent times. Brent Webb was a big loss. Wade McKinnon filled the gap at the Warriors, but losing Webb out of the National Rugby League, a real star player. Now with Scotty Donald, another two have left the Australian shores to play in the north of England. 38 metres out from the line, and Craig Wing leaves the commentary box, and we're joined by one of those Kiwis in the South Sydney camp, David Kidwell, whose season was ruined by his, ruined in inverted commas, by an injury when he tripped over his young daughter last year. David, good to have you back on deck.
Thanks, Fossey. Good to be here, mate.
It is, as I said to Craig, an amazing experience. You probably never thought you'd be over here in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, no, all the guys have experienced, you know, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, you know, and we had a good tour around the Jaguars, and that everything's still on a bigger scale over there.
Last tackle, and Maguire's kick under it as Paulson doesn't get to it. Senior's got a chance. Champion got his hand to it. Oh, that was tight. And referee Bentham says Senior did get his hand to it and take it dead, so that's a real let-off for the Rabbitohs. That will count as a knock-on and a changeover. So South Sydney will come up with the ball 10 metres away, but I'm quite sure, David, what Jermaine Paulson was doing there. He just sort of got himself in a, I don't know, NFL block position.
Yeah,
nowhere near the ball.
Yeah, I think they need to communicate there, and you know, the guys have been working on that, so let's hope they get it done in the game ahead.
Damon Lowe is now out on the field, and a high tackle straight away, penalty to the Rabbitohs. Chris creeping up around the neck. And this penalty 21 metres out. Lowe's first hit up of the ball. Big forward running straight at Jamie Peacock.
Tell you what, there's some big boys in the Leeds team, that's for sure.
How have you found the food over here, David? All the players, they haven't been, there's that many takeaway joints. Fair dinkum, you can't walk 10 metres without hitting some fast food.
Yeah, but you know, Errol Alcott, he's been putting us on a strict diet, but you know, there's thousands of them over here, so I think a couple of the boys, you know, on their midnight rendezvous eating, have tried out a couple of fast food outlets.
No names though. No Falloon now out there. Dummy half duties away for Payer. So it's getting younger, the team, as they bring on the replacements. Champion wrapped up 21 metres out from the line. Leeds leading by 6. Senior there in defence. Now Payer to centre field, and this time with Pettybourne. The one who was selected for the junior Kiwis last year, as was Eddie Payer. And now Falloon out to the left with Rogers begging to be intercepted. Smith does so. Torpy. Now there's real troubles for the Rabbitohs. The cover's not going to get across there. The chasers are being led by Bo Champion, but Leeds will get the try. Webb sprints away to score it. So an intercept 10 metres out from the Rabbitohs line has resulted in a Leeds try, and Webb gets it. 10 points to 0. And David, great disappointment there. The Rabbitohs attack coming unstuck, and I guess that's something that's going to be missing with so many changes in the side, a little bit of cohesion.
It's something that we've worked on in the pre-season. You know, we've worked on our attack, and you know, I think Jason Taylor will be disappointed with the timing of the runs there, but you know, we've got good shape there, and you know, it is a trial game, and that's what it's there for.
Well, 10 points to 0 as the ball came left, and I said in the call the pass was begging to be intercepted. This one from Rogers, it was a gift for Smith, and no better man than Webb to get the ball. So he took that on the 20-metre line.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to catch Booby from there, mate, that's for sure.
Another Kiwi. A little bit quicker than Dave Kidwell.
Just, mate, just.
But he's a great support player, Brent Webb, as his replacement is at the Warriors, Wade McKinnon. It's always been a real strength of his game, and he was certainly the right man in the right place there. And now for a 12-0 lead for Kevin Sinfield. Kicked 6 from 7 in the grand final and a field goal. On-time captain of this side. And his wife Jane, as I mentioned earlier.
Fossey, how have you found Jacksonville, mate?
Well, 48 hours, probably the best 48 hours of my life, David. I spent probably 20 of it lost in a car, driving on the wrong side of the road.
Mate, all you have to remember, tight right, far left, that's all you have to remember.
That's what I've been told, and I apologise to that person when I went to Jacksonville Zoo and I drove up the wrong entrance. Gave them a little bit of a scare. They had a long day there, and all they needed was an Australian coming at them head on in a hire car. So 12-0 the score. Leeds over South Sydney, the Australia Day Challenge, and just a little over a minute out from the first break, quarter time. It's been a long time since we've played four-quarter football. Used to love it, the old midweek competition. Bring it back, I say.
Was I born there, mate, or what?
South Sydney had a great win, a famous win out at Leichhardt Oval in that competition. I guess television had arrived in New Zealand at that stage, David.
One channel, I think, mate.
5.
A lot of Canadian shows over New Zealand, high quality stuff too. 30 metres out from the line, Leeds in possession. Tackle there by Bo Falloon. They're carrying a couple of dummy halves on the bench. George Nadera also on the squad today. Now Nick Scruton, front rower for Leeds, another offload. That is killing the Rabbitohs. James Buchanan put down by Senior. Burrow was in an offside position and Eddie Payer got to it. So coming up to quarter time, 50 seconds out, the Rabbitohs should have a real red hot go at Leeds here. And Stewart with the ball, 41 metres away. Scruton makes the tackle. And now Falloon on for low. Good ball. It was intercepted again, though. They thought they were through. Maguire's got the ball. He's cut down from behind by Champion. An outstanding tackle. A try-saver. Rabbitohs are down by 1 as well at the moment. Injured player back inside the Leeds 40. So it is the Rhinos with a chance coming up to quarter time. 20 seconds out. Brent Webb, 11 metres away from the line. That's the injured troop. Jamin Lowe. And a penalty goes to Leeds right on quarter time, 10 metres out. Now, under normal circumstances, you'd go for goal, but in a match such as this one, they'll attack. And the quarter time break will sound any second. 5 metres away from the line. If they go the short side here, they should score. Maguire takes it out to Torpy, tries to bat it on. Smith doesn't get a hand on it. It goes over the sideline. Time is up here at the ground. And referee Bentham blows time. So the first 20 minutes gone. Leeds coming up with 2 tries. 1 to Matt Diskin after 6. 1 to Brent Webb after 17. Kevin Sinfield has landed 2 from 2. And in the Australia Day Challenge, it's the Rhinos 12, leading the Rabbitohs 0.
Any half-time stuff? No half-time?
No. Nope. Back with the action at Hodges Stadium, University of North Florida. We're up in the northeastern corner of the state of Florida, and only about, well, it's about an 8-mile drive out to the Atlantic Ocean. Did the drive yesterday. That's when my troubles started. I kept the ocean on my left side, but I think I always ended up in Miami, which is about 5 hours away. So South Sydney have possession. Jamin Lowe with it. And again with me in commentary, Steve Berry, and good reception. It is obviously the contact which has impressed the Americans coming along here today, watching rugby league for the first time.
You got about 11,000 people here, which is incredible. And I was telling one of your players, just incredible. I feel like American football is sissified. I mean, they wear about 25 pounds of pads to play football. You guys just slam into each other.
Southwood's possession, played by Stewart. Got a quick play the ball, and Falloon takes off. That's good metres. The young bloke getting his taste of first grade here today. It is a big occasion for him. Now George Nadera also out there, so they're using their two acting halves. Another error by the Rabbitohs, but this time not stripped. Dropped by South Sydney. And that's all that's holding them back at the moment, their error count. And Leeds will have the scrum feed 11 metres inside their own half.
You know, all respect to Tom McManus and Tony Baselli and the rest of the Jacksonville Jaguars, I certainly do not mean to indicate they're sissified, you know.
Ouch!
It might not get back to them.
Oh, they're here.
Leeds into possession, 3 metres short of halfway. I'll let you soak up more of rugby league, Steve, and then give us a impression of some of these players that could possibly, physically, I guess, make some sort of impression in the NFL.
Dixon's run was impressive. That was an 80-meter return on the interception.
So now the lead side, 42 metres out from the line, and Rob Burrow. I don't think of anyone in the NFL with the physical dimensions of Rob Burrow. Now out to Clinton Torpey. Probably more likely to find him in the Kentucky Derby. Rob Burrow on the favourite. Now, nice kick. It was a challenge there. Knocked down, and the Rabbitohs under pressure again. Burrow wins the race to the ball. Burrow gets there first. The play started by Maguire, and it's the third try of the day for Leeds. It looked like they were going to come unstuck that play, but enthusiasm, determination, great attitude from Robbie Burrow gets himself a third try for the Rhinos, 16-0. Don't give up on the ball. It looked like it was going to go dead. Maguire's kick, he was knocked off his feet by Jamin Lowe. And Burrow just never let up and got there in front of Shannon Hegarty. The Leeds are looking pretty sharp, and certainly on the scoreboard looking very strong at 16-0.
Well, you were telling me earlier, this is the team that defeated the undefeated team, so to speak, of the Super Cup, I guess it is.
Well, St Helens had gone through the season as minor premiers and went in as favourites into the grand final. But on the big day at Old Trafford, the Theatre of Dreams, that's where the dreams were for Leeds. And they claimed the title. They've got a third goal and an 18-0 scoreline.
Might be good news for the New York Giants as they're playing the Patriots next week in the Super Bowl. Patriots undefeated, and of course the Giants lost to the Patriots, much like, as you mentioned, Leeds had lost and came back and won.
Well, Leeds' record in recent times, grand final winners in 04 and 07 and runners-up in 2005. We also remember them winning the World Club Challenge when they beat the Bulldogs back in 2005, so they've got plenty of big match experience, and that man's been part of all of it, Kevin Sinfield. And just time out at the moment. Just waiting on the kicking tee. 18-0, Rabbitohs would love to be the next to score. In fact, one would suggest they have to be the next to score.
I like that rule, by the way. If you score, you get the ball. It's an old basketball rule of, basically you just keep scoring until they stop you.
Well, we trialled the NFL format just for a season or two in the Super League, and that was thrown out. So Leeds are back with the ball with Peacock, and tackle one, 19 metres out from their own line. Coach Brian McLennan would be pretty happy with the way things are unfolding here a week out from the start of their season. It is the offloading skills that are most impressive. Webb will play it just outside the 20. Tackle down the left side with James Buchanan. Again, the contact is good first up. That time, no chance of an offload. Eileen Gordon up there to make the tackle. Now Scruton, he's worked hard since coming in off the bench. Young front rower. 12 metres inside the Rabbitohs halfback. And now Lowe was penalised, and that doesn't hurt, or doesn't help late in the count, conceding a penalty, and this will give Leeds another opportunity to get inside the South Sydney half. Don't know too much, Steve, about the local rugby league side, the Jacksonville Axemen, but they've been here and they've been training with these two teams, so that would have been a great experience for some of the locals that are basically fledgling when it comes to rugby league.
Rugby has a very strong following in the Northeast United States.
Cross with Maguire, and Ellis was there. Good offload again. Burrow's got the ball. 15 metres out from the line. Almost away from Sutton. He is like a jackrabbit, Rob Burrow. 10 metres from the line. Burrow quite appropriate. Maguire, flat pass there. James Buchanan. This time able to lock the ball up was Gordon, but only a metre away from the line, and sweating on a fourth try here. Maguire attacks to the left on to Keith Senior, and Senior just waltzes in to score try number 4, and the South Sydney defence right there was dismantled close to the line, and Leeds have their 4th try, and a high five from Keithy Senior, who I mentioned earlier has been around a long time, over 400 games of first grade. His Leeds debut back in '99. He was at the Sheffield Eagles before that. And at 31 years of age, he lines up for another season. And that was easy for Keith Senior. I can guarantee you, Steve, he's run a lot farther than that to score tries in his career, and he has scored many tries.
I'll tell you, the impressiveness about that, obviously with the rules about having to back off, when you're only a metre away from the goal line, that plays right into the strengths of the offense.
The South Sydney defence there just did appear at 6s and 7s, and
Somebody kind of getting the gist of the game so far?
It still gets back to the offloading ability of the Leeds players and the inability of the South Sydney defence at the moment to prevent any sort of passing. There's too much second phase and third phase football here from Leeds. It is really hurting Souths. The Australians who came along today have gone a little quiet in the crowd. 4th kick of the day from Sinfield hits the upright, and that's a dangerous thing, these posts. They don't look all that permanent. Doesn't look like a great structure. Strong wind and we might lose them. But 22-0 the score. Talking about strong wind, when the Rabbitohs trained here yesterday afternoon, it was howling here.
Yeah, you had a northeaster come in, and we've gone from, it was 83 degrees when I went to Miami on Tuesday to 45 degrees today. So it's a 40-degree switch, which would be about, what, 12 or 13 degrees Celsius?
Yeah, we're talking total temperature around about 8 degrees. It's another reason why you wear the pads in the NFL, to keep warm.
Exactly.
So Leeds possession again. And Souths are struggling at 22-0. Greg Norman was introduced to the crowd before the game as an error here from Leeds. This will give the Rabbitohs a chance, but Greg Norman was here to support the Australian team. Greg revealed he did play rugby league as a junior up in Queensland in the back row. And then Lane Beachley, surfing champion 7 times, is in the crowd as well. A legend, Mark Spud Carroll is here. And the Rabbitohs with possession.
Nice
Paya goes across field, straightens up now. 5 minutes from the line. Swapped in the tackle of Donald and Senior. And the crowd lifts again, gets back into the game at last. In comes Centrefield for Ben Lowe. Calling the shots, Nadera at first receiver, now along for Jamin Lowe. 5 minutes away from the line. That's good defence off their own goal line for Leeds. And getting the man to ground. You're not seeing the offload from South Sydney. Falloon goes short. Well, they probably broke the plane there at the goal line, but no touchdown, and the Rabbitohs still in possession. Falloon out the back. Nadera throws short for Sutton on the spin, can't offload. Diskin down low, over the top. Peacock working hard in defence. Last tackle, 3 metres from the line. Referee Bentham telling Sutton to stand up. Nadera's going to be caught in possession. That's poor play by the Rabbitohs on the last. No result whatsoever, and you could say there, Nadera, Steve, he was sacked.
Yeah.
Offload there by Senior. Even when South Sydney appear to make a good tackle, Leeds are getting away and offload, and that was the case there for Keithy Senior. Unlimited interchange, and Leeds have sent out Luke Burgess and Kylie Lillawise back for his second stint in the game. Here's Torpy. Torpy, yet again, offload. It's like a broken record now. Sinfield across field. Floating pass out for Donald. Just about the fastest man in the Leeds Rhinos side. Didn't quite get enough open pasture there. Back to halfway. Sinfield to centre field. And now for James Buchanan. Good tackle over the top. Crowd lifted there. The shot of Yolene Gordon. Kylie Lulawai. Nice low tackle that time, showing different technique. That was Jamin Lowe. Making the tackle on Luke Burgess. Rhinos attack, looking dangerous to the right. Smith gets the ball, and he's having very much the roller coaster out on the right wing. Lee Smith. Hands letting him down there. Hasn't been quality ball all day for him. That almost into the dangerous tackle category, that one.
After a scrum, after a scrum.
This scrum will pack down 25 metres out from the South Sydney line. We're told that Dennis Rodman's in the crowd. He'd be hard to miss.
Yes, he would.
Some tattoo parlours have made good money out of Dennis.
I don't think there's any place they can put a tattoo on Dennis.
Is there anywhere else they could pierce him?
If there is, I don't want to know about it.
No, true. We don't need to go there, literally or figuratively. And the Rabbitohs have the ball for Luna dummy half. 11 minutes inside their own half. Penalty against Keith Senior. And I always look at Keith Senior, and he's like something straight out of Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. And here he is penalised by referee Bentham. And the Rabbitohs this time will go on the attack inside the Rhinos half. And a pretty good touch finder as well.
Absolutely.
A narrow corridor. They made 30 metres from the kick. Maybe a little talent scout here looking for a putter.
Nice punt. That's what you call the red zone, punted out of bounds.
So Jamin Lowe wrapped up 22 metres from the line. Lost the ball on the tackle. Tackle one. And in come the Leeds players. They're hyped up for the game. Jamin Lowe's hyped up. He's given the referee a gobful in his best Australian accent. And in his best North of England accent, referee Bentham says, "Oops, off you go, penalty." So that's very disappointing for the Rabbitohs. Tackle one, lost ball and concede a penalty. And we're almost back where they started.
Works to hip. Wait for the foot.
So now Diskin on for Lillawhite. Much back chat in NFL.
You know, it's the referees expect it a little bit. The players get very emotional. It's an unwritten rule that you can't publicly complain about the officiating, but it happens all the time.
Saw a shot there of Russell Crowe with part owner Peter Holmes Accord on the sideline. Two gentlemen have done well to set this up. Forward ball there. Should be play on for the Rabbitohs. Will be. So South Sydney come up with the ball 20 metres out from their own line.
No advantage.
And in fact, no advantage, says referee Bentham, so they will pack the scrum. There is Russell Crowe with Peter Holmes Accord. Peter was running around. He was basically filling every role. I saw him cleaning the men's room out the back. He was making sure everything was right. There was rain here. He had to towel down all the seats for the 11,000 crowd.
It's a really good crowd for Jacksonville. It's a great event for Jacksonville. And of course, happy Australia Day to you and to all of the natives of Australia. Be no different than our 4th of July.
Big occasion back home. Now Hegarty. And a penalty differential offside from the scrum. Allows the Rabbitohs to get a little bit of a roll on here. And quick to get play back underway. Kicking for line, Nadera. An amazing week it's been for George Nadera, from starting a week training with the Sydney Roosters, signed by South Sydney. 2 days later, business class flight on his way to America. So he's done more training sessions with South Sydney over here than he has at home.
So I guess he rates a little bit better treatment than you, because you were in coach.
All the Rabbitohs got the business class flights. And I was down with the real people down the back.
Well, we appreciate that.
Peeling the foil off the container for the stir fry stroganoff. Here's Torpy attacking on the right side. Just a metre or two in from touch. That's on the ocean side of Hodges Stadium. The Atlantic Ocean side. Never had to say that before in commentary. And Leeds right on halfway. Nadera getting up there in defence with Ben Lowe. And now forward they go with Luke Burgess. Good defence, three-man tackle. Not sure whether they're going to see the continuing offloading by the Leeds team as they make changes. They're looking a little bit patchwork now as some of those replacements come on. James Buchanan has worked hard in this match. Now Burrow attacking the left, senior on his outside, dummy to senior, stands in the tackle, offloads back almost forward there. And last tackle, 21 metres away from the Rabbitohs line. Played by Ben Kay, kick over the top by Maguire, it's covered there in spectacular fashion by Fatuli Talanoa. And Fatuli Talanoa then makes himself quite a handful for the defence.
Talanoa made a nice reception on that kick, if otherwise it would have been a lead score.
Well, they haven't covered up every kick today, but they did that one. And Talanoa back at fullback as he filled in the run to the finals last year. Denied David Peachy finishing first grade at Souths, but St Taylor with his head and his heart. Talanoa looking to back up that season. Now, Manika Foa. So now back for Greenfield. 38 metres out.
Hold the set. Go.
And now Nadera will kick out a dummy half. In fact, just over the 40-metre line. So no chance for the 40-20. Now Webb comes up with the ball. Webb from 15 metres out from his own goal line. We do thank our camera crew here under the direction of Australian Brian Newton, but our camera crew doing a wonderful job. For them, their first taste of rugby league, and for them, the first taste of a director like Brian Newton, who was one of a kind. And now Sinfield turns inside, and it's great to hear Brian Newton, for all the cameramen, to hear that thick Australian accent. Interpreter passing the information on. As they go in field with Sinfield, 5 metres inside the Rabbitohs half. Rob Burrow gets the dummy half. Taking off, Rob Burrow really got out of there quickly. Ball was knocked down and Bentham says knocked on. I thought a South hand may have been to that. That is the way the protest is lodged by Rob Burrow. He thought his pass was knocked down and should have been play on. You be the judge at home watching this. Had his arm grabbed. I'm happy enough to live with the referee there. It was more a play at the arm rather than the ball. Had a pretty good game, the referee, Bentham.
Forced a fumble.
South Sydney back in possession. Played by Yelene Gordon. Now with Sam Hui Hahau. First taste of first grade. Schoolboy star. Big boy. Big Sam. Out on the wing. This is better stuff from Souths. Greenfield 40 metres away from the line. Simplifying their game. That was McPherson, in fact. Now Payer on the spin, wrapped up 31 metres away from the line. Leeds defence has been pretty solid so far. Payer was hurt there in the tackle. It's not going to help the cause. Now Nadera for Rogers, and a flick out the back. That's daring. A little bit of luck in the reception. Now Hegarty, he spins, he slides, he stays alive, and is now finished off in the tackle of Burgess. Last tackle for the Rabbitohs. Sutton is the kicker off the left boot. Not all that high. Getting across to it is Donald. He's got time. And Donald's in possession. Look out for the speed. He gets back to the 20. 2 minutes out from half-time. Our second break in four-quarter football. Ali Lauatiti opens up down the left for Maguire. Puts the brakes on. Heads back infield. Then loses the ball. And it'll be a knock-on against Leeds. Powerful defence across there from Hui Hahau. Lauatiti thought the ball had gone backwards and it should have been play on.
Ali and his brother flew with me yesterday from Atlanta. He was telling me basically that he hasn't seen his brother play in about 12 years. So he's in the stands. Flew over from Stanford, California.
Well, I can tell you Ali Lauatiti is an incredibly skillful player.
From Tonga.
Yeah, originally from Tonga. He's been over in England since 2004, but a lot of the New Zealand Warrior fans were so disappointed that Ali Lauatiti left our game and left the National Rugby League to play in the Super League. The NRL's loss was the Super League's gain.
His nephew, by the way, will be playing for the University of Stanford University, playing football, American football.
And some of the crowd watching on the eastern side under the marquee tent, and as we told you, around about the 8-degree temperature, so nice and rugged up today. But the majority of the crowd on this western side of the ground, open air stand, holds around about 11,000, and the stand pretty much full. It's a steep stand. We're calling right from the back of it, high up there under the Hodges Stadium sign, where you can see those cameras. And watching Leeds, another possession inside the final minute of the first half. A half that has brought them 4 tries and 3 goals for a 22-0 lead. Webb back inside. Smith able to hang on to that one. Last attack for Leeds coming up to the break. Here is Sinfield, clever player. On it came for Luluai. Wrapped up there by McPherson and Greenfield. They're 25 metres out. Our Souths would like an intercept in this play. But it is Leeds with the opportunity to score coming up to the break. Webb switches back in. There's a strong attack. Ball kept alive. Rob Burrow is with it. Burgess gets on it. The big boy 9 minutes away from the line. Another offload. It is killing South Sydney. Burrow decides to kick. Senior is there. Trips over. Donald gets there to score. I reckon they've got their 5th try. Senior was skilled like a 10-pin. But there was another bloke on the outside, and Scotty Donald was there to score the 4-pointer. Try 5 for Leeds, and the first half has ended up an absolute catastrophe for South Sydney. And Steve, I never asked you before the game here, you're tipping the win. It was Leeds, wasn't it?
Well, you know, you were telling me the difference between rugby league and rugby union, and the difference between Leeds and South Sydney. And realistically, as you mentioned, you know, this is an exhibition, if you will, a practice game for everybody. And I think the most important thing is to have fun, to get the bugs out. As a couple of the players were telling me behind, they really want to get into these practice games and get ready for league play, because how they do here is wonderful, but how they do in Australia is what really counts for them.
And we're still a number of weeks away, middle of March, from the kick-off to the season proper, whereas the Leeds side you're watching have their very first game next weekend. And as we pointed at the start, the starting 13 for Leeds today was the same starting 13 they played in the grand final. South Sydney not with the same luxury. 9 top liners out from this match today. So they will improve greatly on what you see here. They will need to, though, it must be said, on what we've seen in the first half. Sinfield's kick is just starting to swing back, but wide. And that's a pretty complete first half from the Leeds Rhinos. The Australia Day challenge has gone wrong for the Rabbitohs. Try scorers in the first half. Diskin and Webb in the first quarter. Since then, Burrow, Senior and Donald. Sinfield has kicked 3 from 5. So we go to the second break, the halftime break, the long break, with the Leeds Rhinos leading South Sydney at Hodges Stadium in Jacksonville, Florida, by 26 points to 0.
How many of you have been to a Jacksonville Axemen game? Those of you that haven't, will you be coming back to check them out? That's what I'm talking about. JacksAxe.com. So who's rooting for South Sydney today? Cheering for, excuse me. Who's cheering for the Leeds Rhinos today? We got a split crowd out here. Let's hear it one more time for South Sydney.
Quarter of the Australia Day Challenge from Hodges Field, Jacksonville, Florida, the home of the University of North Florida Ospreys, and right here it is the Rhinos who are flying at 26-0 over the Rabbitohs. So the hopes of the South Sydney Rabbitohs to start 2008 with a big performance has come unstuck at the hands of the skill of the Leeds players. The offloading count is enormous for Leeds, and South Sydney not helped by a number of errors out of their own hands. So it hasn't gone according to plan for them, but for Leeds, a great tune-up just a week away from the start of the UK Super League season. Best news of all, the crowd here today. Locals confident they've topped the 10,000, and that's quite an achievement. A lot of hard work has gone into promoting this, and it has been quite a success on that score. And for many people experiencing rugby league for the first time, and the oohs and ahs with every tackle has certainly been noticeable. The Rabbitohs have returned for the second half. Rabbitohs with a greater crowd support, but still some Leeds jumpers out there. Not sure whether too many have made the trip across from the north of England for this one. But still support here. 26-0, 5 tries and all in that first half. Diskin and Webb in the first quarter. And that second quarter quite damaging. Burrow in the 23rd minute. 3 minutes later, Keith Senior getting across. And in the 40th minute, Scotty Donald getting a try. Sinfield has managed to kick 3 from 5. And that leaves us with a 26-0 scoreline, playing 4-quarter football, 4 20-minute quarters. And unlimited interchange. And we were told that the Leeds Rhinos, under coach Brian McLennan, a lot of his top liners he would look to give around about 60 minutes of game time. So you're going to see more of players like Kirk and Ablett, Gibson, Tansey, Hall coming off the bench. Kevin Sinfield on screen has been very good. Their captain and a fine player, and I'm happy to say joining us in commentary for this third quarter,
Okay.
part owner of the Rabbitohs, the one and only Russell Crowe. Russell, it hasn't quite gone according to plan.
Well, it's all the young fellas out there, isn't it? You know, all of them trying to impress the coach and all that sort of stuff. I don't think they're doing that at this point. But obviously, Asatasi, Kidwell, and all our big boys are not on the field, so that does give Leeds a distinct advantage in experience and size.
Well, it's a point I've made a number of times, Russell. 9 top liners missing from this South Sydney side, and Leeds playing with their grand final 13, or started the match with their grand final 13 from October, played by Monica Foa. Well, this is one of those young blokes, Nathaniel Barnes, playing his first match in the red and green jumper. Russell, in the old days, the number 1 supporter, Don Lane, would have gone down to the dressing room and smashed a watch at half-time to inspire the players.
Smashed a watch?
Would have smashed his watch. That's legend at South Sydney. Went to Redfern Oval, got his watch off his wrist.
It was only a Casio.
Yes, it's $5 Casio. Smashed it on the ground, and the team fired back for the second half.
Yeah, but Jason's got a lot of things that he's obviously planning with the boys, and so it's best for him just to go down there at half-time and remind them what the plan was.
And they're in a dummy half, and Rogers, the first receiver, had some good moments in the first half. That kick a little long and probably not high enough, and fielded back at fullback. Now Smith switching to fullback on that play. So Leeds back in possession. Most of all, Russell, the standout from the first half, the difference between the two sides, the offloading skill of the Leeds Rhinos really, really hurting the South Sydney defence.
Offloading and just simply keeping possession.
And now Lauatiti is one of the best offloaders in the game. We've seen him 5 metres short of halfway.
We do seem to have a different interpretation of the strip rule as well from this referee from what we're used to. Have you noticed that from up here?
Well, I actually gave him a rap. I thought referee Bentham's done reasonably well. Some close calls, some close decisions on tries, big calls. I'm prepared to back him on those ones. Kick to the corner here, and across goes Talanoa. He is quite the athlete for Tuli Talanoa.
He must be jet lagged.
And rushing up. Well, it is true. I've got no idea what time it is or what day it is. Here's Hegarty. After the game, I'll have breakfast. Hegarty's wrapped up 22 metres out from the line.
Well, if you think you've had a hard time, I just did a 70-hour work week. I finished at 2:30 in the morning last night, went to the airport, flew, got 1 hour's sleep on the plane, went straight to the team hotel, saw the boys, and I've been doing press ever since.
There's always someone worse off. I should have kept my mouth shut. Ball comes infield, and Eddie Pettigborn now. Another one of those youngsters. He's got the blue boots on here, and he's picked up there and dumped. Proved a handful for the defence, but Senior got in nice and close to him. And now Greenfield Up on halfway. This young front rower is pushed back. This is quite forceful, the defence. Here we are high in the stands at Hodges Stadium and joined by Russell Crowe to watch the action. The bird's eye view here.
Oh, well recovered.
Pass off the ground, it wasn't held. Play on for the Rabbitohs, best chance of the match. And Leeds able to cover up. But that's one of the most promising attacks. Smith ended up with a ball for Leeds. And an attack down the right side. Almost reaping reward for South Sydney, would have been their first points. And Leeds will steady the ship. At the moment, Ryan Hall, one of those interchange players and working out of their own 20. Big Semi Hui Hahau out on that right wing. One of the young players that Russell alluded to in this South Sydney squad. And a number having their first taste of top grade footy.
And what a way to do it, eh?
Well, it's a long way from home, Russell.
Other side of the world playing the ESL champions.
There's an offload from Lauatiti. He's got his box of tricks here. And Leeds are 5 metres away from halfway. Gordon made the tackle. Sinfield steadies for the kick from outside the 40. Will be covered across by Barnes. Coming down from the Queensland Cup competition. From Tweed Heads, top try scorer last year. So plenty of reps on him. And 30 metres out from the Rabbitohs line. Just would love a try in this quarter to be the first scorers in this quarter, just to get the crowd back in the game as well. Get the Rabbitohs fans who have come along, or those who have adopted the Rabbitohs as their team. Quite a few people say to me it's the Rabbitohs, and I thought that had a nice ring to it. I like the pronunciation, the Rabbito. But you tell the story of the history of how they got the Rabbitoh, and they sort of, really? Rabbitohs sold, rabbits sold in the street. And here's Rogers kicking for the corner. Goes over the sideline. He would have liked that one to stay in field of play. Barnes was chasing, but Leeds will get a scrum feed out of it. And this scrum will pack down 25 metres out.
I'm sure you could get closer with that camera if you tried, mate.
Well, impressed with the facilities here. I mean, this is a ground
bad,
that the Philadelphia Eagles used a few years ago in the build-up to a Super Bowl, and they got a field out of it. They improved the facilities, but you know, this is some sporting complex, this one.
Well, you can see why he chose to come to Jacksonville. There's the 50-metre pool right there. There's the gymnasium right there. Everything within walking distance of the field that you're practicing on. They've
got 20 tennis courts. They've got athletics track, soccer field, very strong soccer university. And now Smith, centre field, leads on the attack, 40 metres out from the line. But it is really something that the Australians can't comprehend, Russell, is just the following of high school sport, college sport. It is massive. They're as big as the NFL teams. Turnover for South Sydney. Dodera comes up with it.
I went to a game at the University of Michigan. 111,000 people in the crowd.
Extraordinary. Talanoa with the ball up in the line. And Rabbitohs have it 5 metres short of halfway. Tackle there by Burgess. Just going through the motions this half a little. McPherson, a little bit of the intensity's gone out of the Leeds play, not out of their defence, but their attack not quite as precise as it was in the first two quarters. And now for Monica Foa, over halfway. Burgess came up high. He's done a lot of work, the 24, he's a big boy.
Manua Kafoa.
Well, I say his mates call him Nelson. I'm happy to call him Nelson if we just make that a rule. Here's Eddie Payer with a charge at the line and almost through, bending them back a little. And the Rabbitohs with Gordon not able to offload, but a little closer, 30 metres away from the Leeds line. They trail by 26 points to nil, but the crowd hopeful that the Rabbitohs can break through. Greenfield has got through. The kick for Rogers. Rogers will score for the Rabbitohs. The Rabbitohs, the South Sydney side have got their first try, and the majority of this crowd are on their feet. They have scored their first 4-pointer at Hodges Stadium in Jacksonville, Florida, and it is 7 minutes into the third quarter when they've broken through, and it is 26 points to 4. And what a charge from Greenfield, and good skill from the front row, Russell.
He's stripped down a lot in weight, Bossy. He's we call him the monster. Looking forward to a big year from Michael Greenfield in the NRL this year.
Well, I watched him all the way through schoolboy football, and he was always a talent, played in all the junior rep sides. I can't remember him kicking no for a try, which is what he just did there for Ben Rogers.
I wonder how that conversation is going to go with Jason Taylor tonight.
Well, he got it all right. It was shades of,
right.
it was shades of Taylor. Taylor couldn't have done any better. But good skill, front rower busting the line and then having the
wherewithal,
the presence to put in a kick, perfectly weighted, and Rogers scores the try. And here's one of the many talents of Eddie Paya as goal kicker here. It was going to be Isaac Luke's first choice, but they've gone back to Eddie with Luke off the field. And Paya, who tasted first grade the last game of 2006, then just got a few more games last year. Looking to add to that experience this season. He's 1 from 1. And the Rabbitohs bridge the gap to 20 points. 26 points to 6 in the Australia Day Challenge. And it is Andrew Voss and Russell Crowe in commentary right at the moment. It sounded like I spoke to
I should have been
Taylor.
up at the beginning of the game.
Well, it may have helped. It may have helped. Jason Taylor was telling me yesterday the young blokes have been getting up at midnight, going downstairs, watching television, eating meals. It was about 4 days to get over the jet lag.
Yep.
It's such a huge experience. You've taken young blokes, for many of them, their first overseas trip as
That's
well,
right.
not just on the football side of things.
Yep.
But it's a massive life experience for a lot of these South blokes.
Well, that is the central point. The central point is to expand them as men, show them a bit of the world, put them in a place like this where they have to operate over an extended period on a very intense schedule, up at 6, 2 training sessions a day, education sessions at night time. They've had a bunch of different people talk to them. They've had Ben Saunders, who skied to the North Pole by himself, have a chat. Charlie Engel, who ran 4,500 kilometres across the Sahara Desert, 200 k's a day, 4 marathons a day, and get up the next day and do it again. Lloyd Carr, coach of University of Michigan.
Penalty here going the way of the Rabbitohs for offside. In fact, the marker's not square, so you're getting a little roll on here. A bit of momentum with South Sydney right here. Right now, 26-6. 10.5 minutes out from three-quarter time. And they are 41 metres away from the Leeds line. And all the Rabbitohs players have raved about their trip to see behind the scenes with the Jacksonville Jaguars. A real eye-opener.
Yeah, an incredible facility.
5 gear stewards apparently looking after jumpers. A seamstress to put together the jumpers during the season. Any holes in the jumpers, they get fixed. So Nadera, Rabbitohs attack to the right side. Eddie Paya, nice line set. Stuttering run there from Talanoa. He came to the line from fullback. Greenfield down for the Rabbitohs at the moment. They're 25 metres away from the line. I don't think they'll muck about with Greenfield with unlimited interchange. They'll get him off. Inside the 20. Sutton's had a change of jumper now. He's wearing 26. Rogers! He's down the step, got the pass away. Unfortunate. Big Nelson was there but couldn't get a hand on it. And Smith was able to dive onto the loose ball. Rogers is starting to put quite a stamp on the game. He's a skillful player. Unmemorable flick pass last year at the Central Coast for a try. Will be long remembered.
This morning the boys had Angelo Dundee, a world famous boxing trainer who's trained 17 world champions. Have a talk to them over breakfast.
Now Kylie Lillywhite working forward. 5 metres inside their own half, dummy half duties. At the moment, change with the Leeds side, kick downfield, fielded by Barnes. Barnes will run back over the 10-metre line. Good step. Gets him over the 20, almost back to the 30. Nathaniel Barnes. Gives him something for the highlights reel from this one. His first game for South Sydney. Now Talanoa. 15 metres inside their own half. Isaac Luke back on as dummy half, and Stewart there, their captain. Really feel happy for Luke Stewart, one of the good guys of the game, and having the honour of captaining the team here. He's a player who doesn't attract too many headlines, but he's a real worker, Russell.
Always solid. There's Sutton.
Sutton now, change of jumper, looks a little faster. He's wrapped up 35 metres away from the Leeds line. Senior got across there. Centre field with Paya. Manek Kafoa is wrapped up 25 metres from the line. I'll work on it, Russell. Stick with me.
Manasseh Manua Kafoa.
So Luke goes to the right side. Paya chips over the top for the corner. There's a chase on, but covered up there by Danny Williams. Flying through was Sui Hahau. But Williams was able to get there. But better pressure from South Sydney, better control of the ball. The errors have dropped, and as a result, they're putting back-to-back sets on.
They can just hold them down here for a while.
Well, the flow of points against them has stopped as well. Leeds scoreless in this quarter. Robbie Burrow. Outside the 30 for Leeds. I'm sure the Americans still look at this guy and say, what's he doing out there? This young bloke, this kid, at about 5'6", Robbie Burrow.
It was a very popular thing to yell out on the sideline down there a little while ago. Stop the midget. Stop the midget.
Well, I think the same cry went up, you know, back in '87 when Alan Langer made his first trip over here with the State of Origin game. They looked at him and thought, what is he doing? And then later on, the legendary story where they put Alan Langer, as the Rabbitohs get another penalty, they put up Alan Langer at a bodybuilding competition at a local steakhouse. And Alan got up there, ripped the gear off, did all the flexes, the whole bit. And he got third prize, I understand, on the night, against two blokes who were about 250 pounds. And there was little Alan Langer, third in a bodybuilding competition. I think he had a bit of beer courage as well. So
sounds like one of those sort of stories.
Yeah, well, that's right. Again, another story from a long way from home. But with the likes of Sam Bacco cheering him on, Fatty Vorton.
Mal, no doubt.
Yep, exactly. Here's Nelson. Manika Foa tackled. 28 metres out from the line. Rabbitohs deep inside the Leeds half yet again. At 26-6, 26-12 will go down a lot better as Luke makes good ground. Isaac Luke stumbling on his knees, gets over the line. He is some talent, Isaac Luke. And he has proved there that man can run on his knees. Isaac Luke would not be denied a try. 25-metre run, and I reckon he had his balance, Russell, for probably 2 or 3 metres of it.
It was an incredible force there coming up from Isaac Luke's body to keep going with guys hitting him and rocking his balance, but he kept going, kept scrambling. Isaac was a great addition to the team last year. There he is, brushed off 2. He stripped himself up there, and he drags the bloke across the line. Great job. I think Luke Stewart got a big hit in that last play too there. Got up very slowly and gingerly.
Yeah, he actually was taken by the cover defence, knocked off his feet, Luke Stewart. Really knocked when he wasn't expecting it, but the try by Isaac Luke, and he won a game off his own back last year against Newcastle up at Energy Australia Stadium. I think that's the night that Isaac Luke really arrived, when the game was there to be won. A young kid, grabs it by the scruff of the neck, sets up a couple of tries, and Kiwis thought so highly of him, they added him to their squad for the test match at the end of last year. And not only can he play dummy half, he can kick goals as well. Over to Isaac Luke, 20 metres out, 15 metres in from the Atlantic Ocean side of the ground here. And he is successful. And 26-12 is going to make the Budweiser go down a lot better at three-quarter time. For the South Sydney fans in the crowd. And I tell you what, with the brakes on the lead side, another try before three-quarter time. And to quote the American vernacular, we've got a ball game. 26-16 or 18, it is game on.
Exactly what you said before, though, isn't it? It's holding the ball, putting those consecutive sets of 6 together. It's making a very big difference.
And Jamin Lowe is out there. He's all revved up, ready to go, and runs like it's the first hit up of the game. So the Rabbitohs are in the game. Shannon Hegarty had a dummy half, and they've lifted it up a cog here, the Rabbitohs. Tackle 2, they're almost back to the 30. Good stuff. Isaac Luke for Shannon McPherson. Big and tall, almost back to the 40. Luke, it's as if they've come out of jet lag. They're out of their slumber, the Rabbitohs, and they've slipped into their pattern now. And just as I say that, Eddie Payer's lost the ball. He's not too happy about it. This may be referee Bentham's interpretation of the stripping rule coming into play again. Lauatiti goes over the top. Plea from Lauatiti that he's innocent.
Heads in. Out.
So that just takes the edge off the Rabbitohs play as Leeds come up with possession and a crossfield. Hegarty's having none of that. We've almost come all the way over the sideline. Been a bit embarrassing on tackle number 1.
Go.
Played by Smith. Dummy half that side, Ryan Hall. Some of these bench players, not regular starters. Peacock's out there to add the experience. Wrapped up 33 metres away from the line.
Go.
With Ben Kay on for Rob Burrow. And across just 20 metres out from the line. McPherson there to make the tackle for the Rabbitohs. But this would really hurt if Leeds came up with a try before three-quarter time. Burrow attacks down the left. Watch Lauatiti. Almost look forward there to Senior. Senior close to the line and wrapped up over the top by Sam Hui-Hahau. Quick charge there from Lauatiti. All hands on deck for the Rabbitohs. Lauatiti. He is held up. And it took 5 to stop him. He was wriggling and turning in the tackle.
Hand over. No. It's their ball.
And it was the last tackle. It will be a changeover, so the Rabbitohs hang on 2 minutes out from three-quarter time.
Wait.
First it was the ball of Lauatiti to Senior. He went close. And then Senior quickly got into dummy half and had a crack at them.
First.
As I say, 5 of the Rabbitohs to hold him up.
Well, that's the sort of thing you want to see, though, isn't it? Unlike the first half, whenever Leeds got down to the line, they seemed to be able to score some points.
This is Hui-Hahau. Story for Sam last year, major knee surgery. An injury that he'd carried apparently for 4 or 5 years in his teens and never had surgery. And they diagnosed it quick smart, he needed a reconstruction. Knock on at acting half. Look at Leeds, they fire up again. Lots of slapping going on there. Nick Scruton's happy with all of that.
He's acting halfback, mate. He's acting halfback as he dropped that there.
It was off the toe, yep, fair call. Referee Bentham got it right.
That wouldn't be a knock-on, would it?
Off Luke's boot onto his hand after the play of Hui-Hahau.
Stay tight in, wait.
So Leeds inside the final minute of this third quarter and attacking with Williams. 25 metres away. South need to hang on for one more set of 6. Peacock. Plenty of
There's that late
bustle there. Another offload. Now the ball out to Lauatiti. He gets the ball away. Senior for the corner. And the touch judge says no try. The American touch judge is going to rule that Senior has gone touch in goal before he forced the ball.
20.
I salute him. He's got it right. It's 26-12.
Good scramble there, but they shouldn't have opened that hole in the first place, but still a good scramble to stop that from being more points. Who was that that hit us?
There was Isaac.
Missed everywhere.
Strong bump on Senior, who'd weigh in at around about 106 kilos. Out in left centre. He's a big boy, Keith Senior.
Release him.
A try-scoring specialist denied one there. As we mentioned earlier, the 2 touch judges from the American competition here. No video referee today. Phil Gould would be happy back home seeing that decision. Rogers switches play. Rabbitohs final seconds of this third quarter. A quarter the Rabbitohs have won 12-0. And now for Luke, another big run. Back for Rogers, supporters there. Sutton for the line. Offloads. Three-quarter time will be blown as Senior comes up with the ball. Senior with it. Would have been a try to the Rabbitohs right on three-quarter time. And you saw the skills again of Isaac Luke. He opened them up. Now it is brought to referee Bentham's attention that it is time up for three-quarter. It is the third break of the match. But that's been a pretty good 20 minutes for the Rabbitohs. The Australia Day Challenge from Hodges Stadium in Florida. Rogers and Luke getting tries in that quarter. And we go to the break with the Leeds leading in front of a crowd of over 10,000. 26 points to 12. Rugby League, American style.
Okay, stay on side, lads.
Play back underway. Final quarter here from Hodges Stadium in Jacksonville, Florida. 26 points to 12. Rabbitohs hoping that they can build on what they showed us in the third quarter. By far their best, not just to the points they scored, but the football they played.
Go.
He was better than I was. He got you 12 points.
Well, Steve Berry rejoins us, the native of Jacksonville. Steve, you're back. You've been replaced today by Craig Wing, Rugby League International, David Kidwell, New Zealand International. Russell Crowe steps in. But apparently you started a school musical when you were 13. It's great to have you here.
I played odd man out, so.
Peacock will play it. Leeds 45 metres out. They came here today with a bench of 11 players. And I think by the time we get to full time, all 11 will have had some football. We were told that the starters would get about 60 minutes, kick a little too deep. But as if they've made all those changes, there's no question that the cohesion has gone from the Leeds side, and that's to be expected.
Maybe they knew the owner was doing colour, so they figured they had to earn their paycheck a little bit more.
Well, it's quite possible. Well, it could have been a third try right on three-quarter time. Yeah. If it had been a big game, I'm sure we'd already reached the 20-minute mark. It would have been a try in about the 22nd minute, but that by the by, I think the crowd would have still lapped it up.
Absolutely. He was just one flick away from scoring.
A lot of the good players come from this man, tackled Isaac Luke, number 9 for the Rabbitohs. Really, really impressive. And lining up for his first full season of first grade. Well, it's a penalty there for a strip, and it came very late. It looked like for a moment there he may have just called lost ball. Penalty for the Rabbitohs, and they're quick to get play back underway. The kick almost touched. Didn't have a whole lot of height on it, or just over the head of Jordan Tansey out there on the right side for Leeds. Got just about an entire new backline at the moment.
Nice spin move. Nice spin move.
So big chance for the Rabbitohs. 28 metres out from the line. Stewart, who copped a knock in the build-up to that second try. He's okay now. He will play it to Luke. 15 metres away, Rabbitohs. Luke again asks a question of the defence. Passes for low. Now only 6 metres away. Luke will send them to the right side. Great ball for Paya. Straightens up. Eddie Paya goes over for the Rabbitohs. They've got their third try. And we may be watching an Australia Day miracle here. 26-0 they trailed. Now it's 26-16.
That was incredible movement to the outside, and they really took advantage of the defense by shifting the ball to the outside and moving it towards the far side, the Atlantic Ocean side, if you will, of the sideline. Stretched him out, got the speed, got the lateral movement, and then for the try.
And then good footwork by Eddie Paya, the number 7, the halfback, to come up with a try. I guess we could call him a quarterback. But he made a decision here to go to his own playbook to straighten up when the ball could have been fed along and kept going right. They built to the left, set it up to the right. And it was a great passage of play for South Sydney, continuing their good work from the third quarter.
Well, in American football, we call that the gap. What they really did was they spread out the defense, got the gaps, if you will, put it back, and had a better angle for the score.
And the try scorer only 19 years of age. And a total of 4 first-grade games to his credit. So very much a rookie. And over to Isaac Luke again to take the shot at goal. Isaac, too, only 20 years of age, 14 games last year, won the John Sattler Rookie of the Year award for the Rabbitohs, honouring one of the champions of South Sydney of years gone by. And Luke is successful, 26-18. And as he kicked the goal, the sun started to come through. Suddenly the sun in Jacksonville has never shone brighter as the Rabbitohs mount a comeback. Where is this coming from?
Well, you mentioned it. You know, you talked about the jet lag. You talked about the effect of traveling over here from Australia, 27 hours to get here. Some of these players, to be honest with you, you mentioned it's 5 o'clock in the morning for them. It takes a little bit of time for their internal clock to kick on. Well, now it's about 7 or 8 o'clock, so they're up, they're eating breakfast, they're ready to go.
Well, this is it. This is it. Second half, they've won 18-0. It was 26-0 at half-time. 2 tries in the first quarter to Leeds, 3 tries in the second quarter, including one right on the stroke of half-time that got it to 26-0. But since then, Rabbitohs doing plenty. So again, restart of play for Leeds. They found open space. It bounces over the crossbar. That's going to be a hard one to explain to the Americans. That doesn't happen too often. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. Did that bounce between the uprights and over the crossbar? I've never seen that in a lifetime of watching rugby league. How can that happen? Well, it's not worth anything, but it's a good trick.
It's not worth anything in American football either.
No. And here is the ball with Luke. He's wrapped up 28 metres out from the South Sydney line at 26-18. Well, this is a finish that the match demanded, I guess. Here's McPherson. There's been nothing staged about it. South Sydney have put it together. Leeds have backed off a little, just with the changes they've made in personnel out there. And the Rabbitohs look good. Here's Stewart, inside ball, and is over the 40. And that is the last tackle. Rabbitohs would love a big play here. Luke is central to everything good that they're producing. Rogers, deep kick for the corner. Going back is Ryan Hall. Did well to keep his balance and runs up at Talanoa.
Hello.
Talanoa has been absolutely slammed as he attempted the tackle.
He might have had some head-to-head contact. One of the players for the Rabbitohs is down.
Fatuli Talanoa came reeling out of that as he attempted to tackle Ryan Hall. So Leeds are back in possession, 30 metres from their own line. I think Coach Brian McLennan would be happy if they just get through the next 13.5 minutes. No injuries, no conceding points. I don't know whether he's too fussed whether they score any more. But I think he'd like a nice controlled finish to this game. Kick down to the South Sydney corner, but covered up there by Barnes. He's back for it. And Barnes returns with plenty of confidence. He beats the first man again, Barnes. Not for the first time today. Wrapped up 25 metres out from the line. Talanoa taken from the field. So he's off. Temanika's now out there for South Sydney. First time at this level. He's outside the 40. Going to hear plenty from the crowd if they do score next, the South Sydney side. Played there by Simpson. And good ground again. You know who it is. It's Isaac Luke. He's not
what a move.
A dummy and a step. Luke is tackled 10 metres away from the Leeds line. What about this player, Isaac Luke? 10 metres from the line. Rabbitohs attack to the right. Paya with a cut-out ball. Still on for the Rabbitohs. Leeds goal line defence hangs on. But they need to hang on for one more. Sutton throws it out. Paya will get over again. Hasn't been able to force the ball. Last tackle changeover. Eddie Paya wasn't able to score as he took a dash at them. He's been injured in the tackle as well. Isaac Luke, yet another break and a step, beating Scotty Donald. Just couldn't position his support. And Eddie Paya, with one try already, took another shot at them. And he got twisted onto his back and injured in the process.
Time off.
And Eddie Paya.
Paya about 1 meter, or I guess you say 1 yard or 1 meter short of the goal line for the try. That was a great effort by Luke and a nice pass. And again, you know, the difference between that play and the earlier try was they came inside instead of going outside.
Well, all the Americans here in the crowd, Steve, they mightn't necessarily understand everything they're watching, the rules of rugby league, but what they will understand is how long to go and that scoreboard. And if the Rabbitohs score there and kick the goal, it's 2 points the difference.
That's correct.
And they know there's 11.5 minutes remaining, and they know to cheer. Well, you get excited.
You also have a situation where the momentum has clearly shifted over to the Rabbitohs, and the fans are picking up on that. They're you know.
The mighty red and green club. Been around since 1908. And for the first time playing a match in America.
And we hope it won't be the last time.
Well, absolutely not. James Buchanan will play it. As I say, we've seen a bit of this Leeds, just not with the same intensity. Burgess, they're all running a little one out, although there, the ball, he was thrown down, in fact. So interference at the play the ball and a penalty to Leeds, and that hurts South Sydney. Suddenly the clock will become their enemy. 11 minutes remaining, that's still plenty of time, but it's not good time if Leeds have the ball.
Part of the theory for Leeds is they've got their regular season opener coming up in a week or two. They don't want to get anybody hurt, risk any injuries. They've got a league match coming up next week.
And Their first opponents will be Hull KR, and then they've got a big match against the Australian champions Melbourne, the World Club Challenge in a few weeks' time as well. So now the ball with Jones Buchanan. 40 metres out for the comeback to keep going. South have to force a turnover here from Leeds. Flat passing there, but they've simplified their game, Leeds. Not quite as many offloads now. Good tackle there on Jordan Tansey.
South Sydney is doing a much better job at stopping the offloads.
Lauatiti, hard to stop him, put down by Donald. First knock on, should be against Leeds here. It was a knock on both ways. And out of that, we'll get a South Sydney feed. We will. 22 metres away from the line. Well, they're reacting. They're ready. They're ready for more points. Isaac Luke, in fact, will feed this scrum. 22 metres out from the line. And the cross, and that run ended quickly for Jamie Simpson. There was a wall of the blue and yellow jumpers waiting for him. Torpy was first in, so too Senior. He's playing centre of the park at the moment. Now the ball with Eddie Pettybourne. 15 metres inside their own half. 9.5 minutes remaining in the Australia Day Challenge. 8-point ball game. Rogers over the top. The pass way, way too high. John Temanika would have had to be in the height of probably Dennis Rodman to get a finger to it.
I tell you though, if Temanika makes the catch, he is down the sidelines for a try.
It's his first game in the top grade with South Sydney. Temanika. Down from Brisbane East. And an equal leading try scorer in the Queensland Cup. Now the ball with Leeds. Ashley Gibson, 25 metres away from the line, centre field with Ryan Hall. Defence in there, Hegarty really hunting in to make that tackle. Tackle number 2. Rabbitohs with Jones Buchanan. Oh, forward ball from Jones Buchanan. Could have been penalty for deliberately forward the pass to Luke Burgess. It was at least a metre forward. But
he called it.
He rules scrum is enough. If you throw the ball deliberately forward, it is a penalty. And
yeah, there was no doubt about that. In America, that would be a forward pass, and it's very legal. Tom Brady does it really well.
Now for Rogers, the quarterback with New England. Isn't there merchandise sold on the back of the quarterbacks over here?
No, there's no merchandise sold on any uniform except for Reebok, the manufacturer of the uniforms. It's a 1-inch logo. That's about it. But don't give them any ideas.
Okay. South Sydney, Manikafoa. Crossfield, 23 metres away from the line. The Rabbitohs have sent Bo Champion back out there. Maybe he'll be the player with a Midas touch to get the Rabbitohs a little closer. Bo Falloon at dummy half. And throwing out wide. Luke is going to ask them more questions. He's now standing out wide. He's covering ground. He's been dummy half. He's been first receiver. That time he was standing out in the centres. They're trying to find him. Falloon for Rogers. Kicks from inside the 40. But not the angle nor the depth on the kick. Donald underneath it. Scotty Donald, the trump. Comes back for Leeds. Tackled outside the 30. So again, Leeds will look for control. We're inside the final 7. And still the margin is 8 points. James Buchanan with the ball for Leeds. Greenfield up there in defence for the Rabbitohs with McPherson. 26-0 it was at half-time. Now 26-18. As Senior attacks on the right. Good tackle front on. Champion gets him.
Release.
They've improved in all areas here, the Rabbitohs.
Really have.
Now Ablett inside the 40, but getting towards the end of the count. In fact, that is tackle number 5. They'll even look to soak up some time here and kick for the sideline. The ball is back with Tansey. He decides to go for the bomb. Underneath it, Temanika comes up, good take. Not only did he get over the back of the Leeds players coming through, but he got over the back of Bo Champion as well. That was good skill from John Temenik.
Here we go.
Rabbitohs left side. Rogers away. Slipped. Ankle tap. Gets to halfway. Support was coming through. Barnes just a little late.
Roger doesn't lose his feet. He's going another 20 meters.
Right on halfway. Barnes has a chance to attack right side here. Really stretch it, but they just didn't get any depth about their attack there. Menlo tackled, still on halfway, and the Leeds defence is regrouped now. High ball there for Luke. On it comes for Sutton. Put a right foot step in. One of the Rabbitohs who can offload. 42 metres from the Leeds line. Infield it comes, and I think McPherson with the ball. He's wrapped up.
Go.
Now 25 metres away. Luke kicks, but no great purpose to it because he picked out the man on the wing, Ryan Hall. It's a pretty strong run of the ball too, Ryan Hall, but that kick was a bad one when South Sydney really needed something. With 5 minutes to go, Ashley Gibson tackled 25 metres out from his own line. 5 minutes to go right now. At 26-18, this Australia Day Challenge. We're 8 miles west of the Atlantic Ocean. We're 1 million miles from home.
Or so it seems.
And now Jones Buchanan, floating ball out for Torpy. He was strong in the first half. Has hardly seen the football since. Taken close to the sideline, stood in the Hui Hahau tackle. And Lauatiti comes back up with it. Of course he offloads back for Torpy. Torpy on the 40-metre line. And still with a couple of tackles up their sleeve here. The Leeds Rhinos scoring 5 tries in the first half here. Last tackle. Jones Buchanan will play it. Time he's had on the field, he's been one of their busiest workers. This kick placed down between Tamanika and also Barnes. The ball is going to go over the dead ball line. They'll get back to the 20. They'll need to do it in a hurry. So they want a quick restart of play. They need to get all back onside. Falloon with a restart for Greenfield. He takes the run up. He'll make 9 metres. The crowd urging on the Rabbitohs here. They want to try. They want the final 3 to be as tense as it gets. But at 8 points, it's still outside that converted try margin. Falloon trapped 11 metres inside the Rabbitohs half, and Leeds slowing the play the ball down, which is handy at this stage of the match. Manika Foa with a juggle. He had Sutton streaming through on his outside. Manika Foa takes it alive for Falloon, then along for Rogers. Rogers does the same for Nadera. The Rabbitohs are 5 minutes inside the Leeds half, with 3.5 minutes remaining now. Manika Foa on for Sutton. A little bit of fancy footwork, then back for Manika Foa. A lot of syllables in that play, and he's wrapped up 32 metres away from the line. 4 in the tackle for Leeds, and it is tackle number 4. Now Falloon to the right with Sutton. Throws a cutout ball. It's into the crowd. It's fielded by Greg Norman. And that means it will be a scrum feed to Leeds. It went over the sideline by a good 10 metres. Sutton looking dangerous, but not able to pull off the big play.
Greg trying to get back on the rugby side?
Well, he said he played as a schoolboy. Yeah. And what a great champion he's been, and what a great ambassador he's been for Australia, and fulfilling those duties again today.
Some of those memorable moments on the golf course at the TPC here just south of us.
And we're just up the road from Sawgrass. The Hall of Fame is how far away from here?
It's about 20 miles south in the North St. Augustine area. Of course, Greg is a member of the World Golf Hall of Fame.
That's where I'm headed tomorrow. And Leeds have lost the ball, so there is a chance for South Sydney. They will try and force this scrum quickly, get a time off.
A couple of courses, of course, the Slammer and Squire, and the King of the Bear, which is Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus, and Norman supposedly designing some courses out here in Florida.
So a little over 2 minutes remaining. The clock has stopped. And the Rabbitohs will set a deep line to the right side here. Don't be surprised if Sutton peels off the back of the scrum and they try a little blindside shot.
This is where the rule about rugby is different than football. If South Sydney can score, they'll get the ball right back, which is different than American football.
It will be a frenetic last 90 seconds or so if that is the case. Falloon, but they have to come up with a try first. McPherson, Leeds lifted a little in defence here. They know if they hold on for one more set, the game is theirs. 40 metres away from the line. Someone needs to stand up for South right now. Falloon, and thrown out for Sutton. Kept alive. Barnes has gone through. Barnes with a step. He's tackled 5 metres away from the line. Nathaniel Barnes.
Nice play.
Rabbitohs go from dummy half. They're held up. Has to come left now. It has to come left. They need to score this play. Barnes, dummy half, doesn't get a clean shot at the ball. The markers came up. Penalty, almost professional foul, and sin bin there. Referee Bentham gets involved. Clock hasn't stopped yet. Inside final minute. Now we've got some punches, some push and shove.
Is that Kevin Sr. in there fighting?
Keith Sr. is in the middle.
Senior?
Yeah, he's the
old guy.
He wants a crack. Who wants the title?
He's got his mouthpiece in, so, you know.
So now the clock has stopped with 45 seconds remaining. The Rabbitohs would have to score. Well, they can decline the shot at goal, hope for a quick restart and get the ball back. One Hail Mary play to finish. In all of that, they still got the penalty. That was before the brouhaha out there. So Rabbitohs penalty. And they're going to waste a little bit more time by kicking for line. I think that is a total waste because the clock is going to start again. Beau Falloon will bring it in 20 metres for the tap restart. Here they go, Rabbitohs. Down by 8. McPherson takes the first one. So they brought it in field just to do that run. And he has swamped McPherson. 38 seconds remaining. Rabbitohs, Beau Falloon to the left side. Greenfield, short pass on it came for Lowe. He's wrapped up 10 minutes from the line. Leeds are defending. They've got 3 trainers in goal directing the defence. That's illegal. The Rabbitohs have got it. 8 metres out from their own line. They'll go over. Rabbitohs have scored again. It's going to be too late. I think it was George Nadera who got across the line. It was. In his first match for the Rabbitohs, in his first week with the club, and it's 26-22, but time is going to beat South Sydney. 26-22. And just to explain, in that defensive set, Leeds had all 3 of their training staff in goal, directing their defence around. You're not allowed to even have one. They were getting called around like chess pieces.
That'd be like a coaching staff walking on the field, readjusting the defense during the action. I don't think you want Tom Coughlin for the Giants out there setting the defense.
Well, back in Australia, Ron Palmer eat your heart out because he's notorious, a trainer with the Roosters, for getting out on the field and directing play. But to have 3 out there, that's a little over the top.
I agree with you. You called it. You said that's illegal.
Final play of the match is George Nadera going for goal. Well, there's one thing for sure. The crowd's been entertained here. 26-24. History probably won't record the detail of how the match was played rather than just a 2-point margin. But it was 26-0 at half-time.
Very respectable second half for South Sydney. You know, they really showed, I think, in my honest opinion, they began to feel the flow of the game as we talked about the jet lag. And you were mentioning they were getting up at midnight and trying to get their biological clock on Eastern time, and it's almost impossible. You know, I know when I fly west to Hawaii for vacation, it takes me a day or two just to adjust when I come back home.
And you don't go over there and play a game of football and get smashed by.
No, we just go chill and drink Mai Tais and, you know, do a little diving. And yeah, I'm going to come visit your country, though. I promise you I will be at Sydney. It'd be a dream of mine. We talked about that, and you've been a great ambassador to the country of Australia, and looking forward to my trip out to the continent.
Well, Steve Berry, my co-commentator, it's been a pleasure to have you with us, and hopefully you'll come down when the NRL season is in full swing. And
I'll do that.
Catch a rugby league match in Australia in all its glory. And South Sydney here in the Australia Day Challenge. The crowd will go home happy, a crowd in excess of 10,000. There's no inflated numbers here. It was probably around 11,000.
Yeah, it was just, the stands seat about 10. They were full. You had about 3 deep on the sidelines. You had the other side. You still have people out playing in the rugby fields. And this is great for the game of rugby, especially in the city of Jacksonville, because with our diverse population, the Navy base being here, there's a lot of naval personnel that go overseas and learn this game and come back. The University of North Florida has a club rugby team. Jacksonville University has a club rugby team. And Bowles High School here in Jacksonville has a rugby team. So it's starting to grow.
Well, let's hope that league is their rugby code of choice. But there is quite a crossover between players playing rugby union and rugby league. Let's go down on ground right now. Our reporter there is Danny Weidler.
You need to learn from our mistakes anyway, so It was a good turnout, and for the boys that played and for the Leeds team that let us have a game against them was good. So.
What about the crowd?
That was unreal, especially for Americans.
They really got into it, though.
Yeah, they did. I think they got. I hope rugby league is a big thing over here now, so we can only produce this kind of game over here. So it's good.
Second-year syndrome, something that you'd be wary of. You don't want that to affect your game. What have you done to try and counter that?
I really haven't done anything. Just learned from the older players like Rory Asatasi and Nigel Wagner. They pretty much sprung me on last year, so it's another two people I turned to, so it was good.
And rugby league, has it got a future over here?
Rugby league's got a big future everywhere, so whoever was watching better start playing.
Thanks, Isaac.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
Isaac Luke, our man of the match here, and despite the fact he's on the losing side, he has attracted plenty of headlines here. And how exciting is it to have a young bloke like that? 14 first-grade games last year. He's developed in the off-season, and as he says, the influence of some of the senior players at South Sydney. What a talent, Isaac Luke. We can go back down to the ground. Danny Weidler.
Thanks, Rossi. Yeah, look, got Danny Peacock with me. Danny, Jamie, sorry, mate. It was a fantastic effort from your side just before the season starts. How important was that hit out?
Yeah, it's good. Obviously, our league starts next Saturday, and we need to get off and running. And it was a tough hit out for us, against South, to show some spirit to come back into the game there.
Is it a worry they came back at you so hard?
I don't think so. I think the team that finished the last 50 minutes were completely different to the one that started it. Sometimes you lose a bit of rhythm when you make as many changes as that, really. And
what about the crowd, the drums, the cheering? They love the big hits.
Yeah, they've been fantastic, really. I think it was a good game to see, to be honest. I think it's a good for rugby league to see that kind of game. There were some big hits from both teams, and these lot were buzzing off it, so yeah.
Congratulations and good luck for the season.
Cheers, thanks for that. Thanks a lot. Cheers, pal.
Jamie Peacock there representing the Leeds Rhinos, and their season does start next week against Hull KR will be the first game, and our Channel 9 audience will see Leeds in action in the World Club Challenge against the Melbourne Storm. Players exchanging jumpers right now. It's going to get a little confusing out there. Just the Leeds players will keep their socks, but everything else will be gone. And the Rabbitohs now wearing the Leeds jumpers, most of them. Rabbitohs still a month and a half away from their start to the season. And that will be against the Roosters. Game 1. But here in the Australia Day Challenge, it's been entertaining at Hodges Stadium in Jacksonville, Florida. Leeds defeating South Sydney 26-24. As the presentation still to come. The crowd have decided they want to beat the traffic and maybe not stick around for the presentation, Steve. But
well, can you blame them? It's 8 degrees Celsius. I mean, they're cold. I will say this, though. You mentioned it's the Australia Day Challenge. I would love to see this every year, especially here in Jacksonville. It's a great atmosphere, and being, a native of Jacksonville, born and raised here, grew up here, have very strong ties to this city and will never leave. I think it would be great to do this every year, bring in Leeds and bring in an Australian team.
How ambitious could they get? Could we go to the Jaguars Stadium?
Well, the Jaguars
wouldn't fill it, but to get a few
I'll be honest with you, 10 or 11,000 people at Alltel Stadium would not be a bad crowd. The challenge you're going to have is the pitch is not quite as wide at Alltel Stadium as it is here. This is a soccer stadium / football stadium, so the pitch is a little bit wider. The pitch is a little bit flatter. At Jacksonville, it's more crowned and it's more, of a football field. But I personally would love to see it at Alltel Stadium, or excuse me, at Jacksonville Municipal Stadium. It used to be called Alltel Stadium. But to me, with 12,000 people here today, this is only going to get bigger. Of course, about 5,000 women came to see Russell Crowe, but,
Yes, this is true. And still standing by for the start of the presentation, but you can see some of this crowd here. As I say, the work that's gone on behind the scenes and promotion of it.
University of North Florida has done a wonderful job at getting the facilities ready. They actually got our heat turned on about 5 minutes ago, so you can start to thaw out here in the broadcast booth. And, of course, I think you mentioned it. Brian has done a wonderful job of producing because every one of these camera people have never worked with Brian and have never pretty much covered rugby. props to Brian.
Well, let's hope that it's the same crew next year.
Yep. And let's hope that your travel plans go a little smoother next year. You know, you don't have to fly during the middle of the bad weather in Dallas.
Well, the bus trip from Dallas was long.
But entertaining.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Thank you for the potato chips, by the way.
Well, the trip back for Leeds. So we know that Kevin Sinfield, the bulk of the squad, go home tomorrow afternoon. But we do know that Kevin Sinfield, whose wife Jane is expecting at any tick of the clock, Kevin will get on the first flight available out here this afternoon and will be on his way home, the captain of the Leeds Rhinos. So his last duty is to accept the trophy and get out of here. Over the presentation, here's Danny White.
Rugby League can return here to Jacksonville, and now we'd like to call on the captains of the two teams, South Sydney Rabbitohs and the Leeds Rhinos. Can they come out here, please? Here we go. Boys, a fantastic day. You lost the game, mate, but swap jerseys. But it was a fantastic day. And